So we have a 2012 Ford Expedition, and we're getting ready to put upper and lower radiator hoses. Gonna remove the middle of the ductwork for the air box. This is an 8mm. Alright, so I'm going to drain down the radiator. First thing you want to do is take your radiator cap off. You should do this when the engine is really cold. If it's hot, it'll be really hot. There's pressure in the system. If you're not careful, the cap could blow off and you'll get burnt. You don't want that to happen. So do this when the engine's cold. Set this aside. Now the petcock is over on the passenger side. I'm from up top. And you're going to see down in there's a red cap over to the left. So you've got to twist that cap. It was a little tough, but I usually put a pair of pliers on it. Don't clamp down. I'm just kind of gently use them to crack it open and drain this radiator down into the pan that I've got down below. A big honking pan under here, and we're gonna let this drain down into the pan. I got a little over 200 grand on this truck, so I'm gonna drain all the antifreeze out of it, dispose of it properly, and refill it with brand new antifreeze.
All right, so we're gonna do the radiator, the clip here for the upper radiator hose. All right, well, we're gonna try and spread it with this big screwdriver.
There you go.
Yeah, you got the pop off. It probably broke, but
Thanks.
we'll put a tie wrap on that, Tom.
200 grand, everything's brittle, right?
Yeah. We'll get this plastic overhang here that we're not trying to take off, and we'll put the new hose on, the clamp. We're gonna reuse our spring clamps.
And if it fights you can use like a little pick like we always use in the videos.
Yeah. If you want to clean all this oxidation off, you can feel this. It's not smooth, it's kind of lumpy. We got to get some sandpaper and clean that all off so that the new hose seats correct.
Okay.
With some sandpaper, we're taking this heavy oxidation off here. You could try and get it with a wire brush. It's got to feel smooth to the finger so that the hose seats, gently. Years ago, they used to use an Indian head product that,
remember that.
Used to put on all your hoses. It's not so common anymore. In a situation like this, it would probably work good, but we'll get this all cleaned up so it's, so that when you feel it, it's smooth, is what you're trying to do. And, we still got a little lump right here. So, yeah, we just about got it, but just make sure you guys do a good job cleaning this. So we got the oil filter we have to unscrew to get at this lower radiator hose that Tony wants to change. Kind of looks like it's going to be a pain in the ass, but we'll see. So we got our clamp tool and we got to try and get it onto the thing to squeeze the.
So we're able to get one end of the hose off, radiator hose off near the block, and you saw the tool that we were using. We had to squeeze those ears together, and Steve pried at the pry bar at the same time. And the clamp was in a bad position from the factory on my truck. Hopefully on yours it's not. So it made it a little bit challenging, right, Steve?
Yeah, so we're gonna try and reposition the clamp because we like the spring clamp. So if we can reuse the spring clamp, we'll just have it in a different position so that it's the power steering line, over here isn't in the way. So we'll get it with a pair of water pump pliers and maybe squeeze it and slide it up. That's how we're gonna try and go about it. Now there's a quick disconnect on this side of the hose that's, ain't a lot of room in here. Well, we gotta try and find that quick disconnect.
And
I see one of them, all right.
You guys have dealt with these? There's nothing quick about a quick disconnect.
Not in this area of the truck there ain't.
Nah.
Well, we're gonna go put the truck down and see if we get a better look at the top. I'm gonna try and pick this from here and see, but yeah, we'll see.
We'll tell you. We're gonna take this off, and we'll tell you what we did.
All right, so we got the clip, and I got my hose pick tool. And we're gonna just pick this clip off right now and spring it off out of the way. We got a new one with the new one, so I don't really care. But somehow we have to get this clip all the way out. And you get the harness right here in the way that does not want to go anywhere. Somehow I got my fingers on this thing. One little section down here that's locked in with. Oh, I got it. Oh, what am I hooked on there? Yeah, and this is it.
Whoop, you see?
So I got the spring clip off, so now you should be able to grab that hose and slide that hose off now. Rotate it. Everything's tight. It's very tight to the hydraulic brake control unit. We're gonna get a pry bar down in there and see if we can just break it loose.
So this is a clip that was on the hose that Steve just removed. And on the new hose, it's kind of fitted around it like this. So we pried up with the pick tool, popped it off, and right now we're just trying to slide the hose off of the bottom of the radiator.
This is fucking difficult, brother. I'll tell you that, man.
So Steve had this red pry bar down in there. We pried off the low radiator hose away from the radiator. It's in a wicked tight spot though.
Yeah.
That wasn't easy, was it?
Tried getting the pry bar in behind this to pry it.
Yep.
And we pried on the fan bracket right here. I don't have a pry bar that's a little straighter than this. If I did, it probably would have been a little easier. But, so we're gonna make sure that this thing has got a little lubricant on it, so when we slide it onto the new hose, and the clip's gonna stay on. You're just gonna slide this thing on, you'll hear the clips lock into place into the groove of the radiator. If you put the light down there, there's a groove in the radiator right here.
Yeah, the outlet.
Yeah, and you'll see the clip will end up sitting in there.
Yeah, you can kind of see it. You see that groove right there Steve's talking about?
So we just transferred the clip over, and we're just gonna leave it loose down in this area here so that we can rotate it around. And then we're gonna reset it once we get this back in place, because, oh, it's held itself right now. It's got the little lock thing that's holding it, which is cool. So we'll slide this thing up in place, and I don't know, maybe we'll be able to just push this thing down. It'll crimp in a nice spot for us. But
all right.
For now, we're gonna leave that there, and we're just gonna put a little lubricant in on this thing here so that this slides in onto the radiator. And it's got some lube in here you can feel right now already. So we'll just put a little more on there.
And you leave that metal clip in place, so you're just gonna push it on, right, Steve?
Yeah, it's just gonna lock in place. We're gonna slip this hose back in place now. We got our clip, it's already locked in. So we'll put some lube on it. We're gonna pull this thing down to place. And the hose is a pain in the ass. Try and bend the hose back over into the place it's gonna go for now.
So you just gotta get the end of it onto the outlet and push in.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll be all right.
Trying to push the thing back on me here.
It's a tight spot, guys.
Yeah, it feels like there's something trying to push the thing back here. All right, so we have to get this pry bar down here. There's a little lip on the frame right here.
Yep.
And we hooked on the lip of the frame.
Okay.
And we pried on the hose to get this thing to clip on, and it wasn't easy, guys.
Nope.
So once you get it on, you're gonna know it's on because you heard the clips clip in and you can swivel the hose now.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't on, it would pop right off. And it's on, the depth is on. You can see the groove where the clip is riding in there. So and we put some extra lube on it so we can get the thing to spin around. Now we'll go get the other clamp on. Yeah, we gave up on the spring clamp.
It's a pain in the ass.
Big time. So we'll use a worm clamp. And I'll sit this on and yeah, I'm all done with that worm clamp today. So, all right. Put this on.
There you go.
All right, we're up far enough.
Okay.
And I got the clamp on.
Yep.
We'll put it in a position where we can get it with a ratchet.
Yeah, so now all we need to deal with is just a ratchet, and we can easily get that off and on. That spring clamp from the factory was a huge pain in that position. Yeah, but sometimes you got to make it easy on yourself too, right, Steve?
Yeah.
So we just used a 5/16 socket and tightened up this worm clamp. You don't need to crank down on the thing, it's all snugged up, and it was way easier doing that than the spring clamp.
We're gonna flip our oil filter back on. We wiped that surface down. Got our O-ring on. And we'll tighten this up. And make sure we have clearance from this heater hose. And, yeah. Yeah, looks good. Okay. All right, we'll clean up the filter a little bit, tighten this thing up, and look at the clearance. It's kind of snug, but we got clearance between the filter and the hose. Okay. All right.
So getting ready to put the upper radiator hose back on. We transferred the spring clamps over to the new hose. That's Steve's favorite part of the job.
Yeah, so we're gonna line this up, and then we got this clamp that we broke. That's all right. It's gonna fit right back in here.
Yep.
I don't break it anymore.
There it goes. You can use a set of pliers of these, but Steve has this fancy spring tool that he has.
I'm gonna slide. Okay, the hose is on there. I'm spraying a little penetrating oil on the hoses just to help us get them on. And everything is going so tight today, it's crazy. Okay. All right, now we'll fight with the clamp like we have with all the rest of them today.
All right, so we just got the other clamp back on. This is the position that it should be in. Got the clamp on the other side.
Silicone system now.
So we're just
Took
gonna.
all the old purple stuff out, and we're going
Pink.
with this is an all vehicle. It's like a light green.
Yeah, we.
And we sucked the reservoir out too, so that we won't get any discoloring. And Tony bought the premix; it's all ready to go.
Yeah. So we're just gonna fill up the radiator with this stuff. Fill up the reservoir.
Tank, yeah.
And I'm just gonna finish this up right now. We'll get back to you.
Just putting our ductwork back in place.
Yep.
We'll have a square spot on the clamp, right?
Oh really? Oh,
Yeah,
I see.
it
So
right
yeah.
there.
There's a notch. I didn't realize that.
Oh, looks like someone had it on backwards too.
That was me. There's never the other clamp.
Yeah.
I never took it off. So I also must have dropped it at one point.
He had it off last weekend, guys. Okay, now has the little notch right there that it's gonna fit right in there when we go to tighten it up. See that?
Imagine that, huh?
All right, so tighten these two up, and this one will make sure it's the same. I think the notch is back here. Yeah, it's right there.
Okay.
Okay, all right, we'll snug those up.
This wraps it up.